Okay. When you are ready, please give me a countdown for when you want the timer to start, and we will get started. Oh,
Absolutely, no problem. Okay, so we're going to count down from five. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
we have a small audience here, so you got some clapping as well. Hey!
I can hear it. Lovely. Oh, no, thank you. So we're just going to... First thing of the run is we skip the initial cutscene. So I'm Lady. I am running Worldless Any. This is a game that came out towards the end of last year, November in 2023. It is a 2D Metroidvania game. It's obviously, as you can see just from this first section, it's very minimalistically stylized. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So the basic premise of the game is we are in a newly created universe, and there's polarizing entities that are at war with one another for dominance, and that we are playing as one of those entities. This is Edda. She is of the blue polarity, and this is just basically the tutorial section for the basic platforming. There are actual tutorial prompts, but in the speedrun we turn them off, which is a nice little touch. So we're just going to run through this area
I forgot to
quickly.
ask actually.
So,
Where does your pole end? The donation, the incentive pole.
so the poll ends pretty much right at the end of the game. There's a section after I've beaten a boss where I will enter an area by talking to one of the characters. I will let you know it's quite far into the run, so I'll let you know after the boss is beaten that it's coming up. So the gimmick of this game is that combat is real time, so you have to enter button prompts to do attacks and defend against your opponents. So we're just gonna normally most fights you'd actually do something, but in this one it's a scripted fight. You have to lose it in order to progress the story. So we're just going to take all the hits from our rival over there. So as you can see, there's magic, there's physical attacks. The blue polarities tend to have ice and thunder magic, whereas the skill tree a little bit later. We don't go into it until about half through the run because you just don't need to. So with our rival trying to absorb us, it's caused some kind of reaction, and we've somehow managed to expand the universe. So this is our map. So there's a number of different areas. They're all color coded, which is nice when you're trying to explain things, but it does sound a bit bland when you say, oh, the red area or the blue area. It would be nicer if they had like special names, but it's just color coding is the easiest way to sort of describe them. So we have our first interaction with one of the NPCs. They're known as the Old Ones, but I personally like to call them Stickmen. And that's mainly because I have 2 children, and that's what they called them when they saw it. So this kind of a bit sentimentally, they are the Stickmen. So we've just gained the ability to resonate, which comes in handy because it allows us to interact with objects within the areas. So they all have their own little weird sort of gimmicks in the areas to do with the platforming, and yeah. So as we go into them, I'll explain what those gimmicks are. But he's basically saying, I don't know what's happened when you've had that fight. Why? And the creators of the universe have looked at Edda and her rival due to what's happened. So they've basically transcended their base nature, is what the game sort of says it is. So this is just a quick map tutorial, and then we're going to get actually into the beef of the game. It's telling us we're following our rival. We need to catch up with him. So first use of our resonate allows us to access the areas, goes through the doors. And the first area is we're going into is the blue area. So again, this would be where the combat tutorials are, but obviously we've turned them off. So those little grey triangles are time segments. You collect a certain number of them, it increases the amount of time you have to do your actions in battle. So I have to be, sorry, I'm going to have to concentrate. This is actually the hardest fight in the game. One of the hardest fights to get right. You have to be you have to do a precise set of movements to get the absorb here without killing him straight away, which is always difficult. Okay. So I'll explain the absorption meter in the next fight because it's a little bit simpler. But basically, you have to fill that bar to a certain point, and then you can absorb the enemy. But obviously, the higher the bar, the more button prompts are revealed. If you get it to the fullest it can get, then you will automatically absorb your opponent. So you're also going to notice I'm defending. So there, I did not get what is called a perfect parry. Yeah, the button prompts are complete RNG, so it is a bit of a crapshoot when you if you get it straight away. But yeah, so we're going caught up with our rival, who's gonna break the bridge because of course he doesn't want us catching him. And we're going to go and get our first movement ability. So there's a lot of these old ones dotted around the map, and they each contain like abilities and stuff. And this one contains the dash ability. So we get a dash. We can use it in up, down, left, right directions. So you can use it in the air. It's a very useful piece of movement tech. But it does have a slight delay on its recharge. So you have to be careful of your timings with your jumps if you're doing like that sort of stuff. And not all the skill points are actual fights. I'm going to try for this once. No, didn't get it. Right, not going to try again. That's a really dangerous one if you fall down. Just take the regular path. So we're just going to dash our way through this, up this chasm, and just get to the top. Just try not to fall down and waste time as we go. Oh, getting through. So if I'm not dashing, I'm going to be walking because for Edda, the jump is really slow and it is not the fastest form of movement for her. So I'm just going to do this and then just dash onto this. So I said about the resonate. So in this area, it activates these little blue lights that create platforms, which is handy for getting around. So there's our third timepiece, which we don't collect the fourth one until quite later on. Pretty much heading into the later areas, but there you go. Like I said, you get the delay on the thing. So in the old any percent route, you go to the right and head into the red area. But it was discovered it was a bit quicker to go to a different area first and get another movement ability. So that's where we're going. We're going to head into the green or teal area. So this is a really, really chill game. It's a very nice gateway Metroidvania because there's no death as such. If you lose a fight, you just get kicked out and you can go straight back in and try again. It's not to say the fights are easy. They're not easy. Some of them are very complicated, to be fair. And they get more complex, obviously, the further you go into the game. So this is just a little crab enemy. He's quite standard. You see a few of them throughout the run. So there, I'm getting that star animation when I'm blocking. That means I've got a perfect parry. That preserves my shield. So it doesn't take any damage. If you don't perfect parry, your shield takes damage, and obviously it'll eventually disintegrate and you'll actually start taking proper damage, proper hit point damage. So in this area, the resonate activates these little keystones, which then go into portals. We're playing with portals today. There's some nice little aerial maneuvers there. I'm just hoping today. So again, a little skip that's been relatively new in the game is you used to go up there and do a fight and collect the ice magic. We no longer do that because it's like several minutes slower. And there's only one fight where it's really detrimental to not get ice. But we'll get to that a bit later. Unfortunately, it is a mandatory fight, which means you have to do it. So we're going to go up here and activate, or go and find the last keystone for the set of portals down below. Although I haven't shown it yet, Edda is deathly allergic to water. She's deathly allergic to water and can't traverse it in any way, shape or form. So we need those portals to get across the water in this regard. See if I can... Nah, didn't get it. That one's really hard to time. There we go. Oh, got lucky there. That was nice. Gave me some cutting button prompts there. There we go. So we're getting across to this side. Okay, so it's a lot of just getting around, get the portals, and then nope. A little skip there. You meant to go to the right first to hit the portals, but it's a little bit quicker to just drop down, although it's a bit more dangerous because the portal's not necessarily spawned in. So here we have another interaction with our rival. And clearly Edda does not like him. And we're going to get our second movement upgrade, which is the best upgrade, which is the sprint. So now we can run across the water so we can access different areas of the game. And take this orb quickly, and we're just going to run all the way to the right. So it's so as you can tell, this game's very, very relaxed. The music's really, really relaxed. It's just a nice game to play. And even to speedrun, it's like, even though it has got some complexities, it's just nice to play. We're just going to run through here. And it's quite visually beautiful as well, just flying by. So this is another scripted fight. I'm going to try something. I've managed to do something before. No, I didn't get it. I said this is a scripted fight. I somehow, in practice today, managed to trigger the cutscene earlier. So I was trying to see if I could do it again, but it didn't work. So this big green gentleman is called Summon, and he is the game's super boss. So like a lot of Metroidvanias, there's like collectibles that will take you to a secret area, that sort of stuff. His boss fight is it's very fun, but it is very challenging in regards to what the game throws at you. It really wants you to know how the game works, what all the abilities do, that sort of stuff. So it is a very, very fun fight, but it is very challenging and quite long. Like, even a good player, it's like a solid 5-minute fight, which, as you've seen, like, some of the fights just absolutely fly by if you know what you're doing. So the gimmick of this area is more water, but upwards water. So we're going to run along here, and I'm not going to lie, I hate wind enemies. They are literally the worst enemies in this game. Cool, got that. Fabulous. That attack is really tricky to get through. And we'll absorb. Okay, it was a good fight. Yeah, that sort of 5-hit wind is really hard to dodge, but really hard to parry effectively. But yeah, I suppose I should just explain a little bit more about the timing mechanics. So obviously it's shown that if you defend correctly, it gives you your perfect parry and your shield doesn't degrade. It's also the same with your attacks. There is timing mechanics with the attacks. So when I'm doing that sort of spinny blade, like the zero move, that's because I've timed my attacks right, and that does more absorption damage, so you get to absorb your enemies faster. Now we're gonna finally catch up with our rival, who's not looking too great, to be fair. Now, I could beat him up, but I think everyone would agree it's generally better to just talk things out rather than fight. So you can actually fight your rival there. It gives you a slightly different cutscene here, but it is a lot slower. So obviously just talking it out is the best way. But, oh, Ed has disappeared. So now we have access to our rival. And our rival is Avon, who is our second
There we go. We're in,
We
but we
in?
don't have sound. Oh wait, we
Cool.
do have sound. That's fine. We're all good. Yeah.
It's because I'd clicked off to make sure it was properly working. That's fine. Okay, so a little bit missed. I upgraded Avon with a few abilities, and we went along to meet Edda, who was trapped on a little post, and now we have access to both of them. So there's some nice little mechanics with like the platforming movement and stuff, so you can switch into each other quite quickly. So it's do like launchy jumps like that, where you can just fling Avon from the sprints. So I'll explain Avon's abilities a little bit. So obviously, as stated before, he has fire and wind magic. He has a whip, and he is a kung fu master, basically. So he also has a very cool ability that is just been shown off, which is called Deflect. So instead of a perfect parry, he has a defend ability and an evade ability. So he can just outright just disappear and dodge an attack, or defend it and take damage. If you time your button presses correctly on that, you can deflect absorption damage back to the opponent. So it's a way to do damage on both turns, essentially. So we're just going to race through this area. So when we met back up with Edda, we caused the universe to expand again, and that has now unlocked the transcended bosses. So they're what we need to beat to finish the game, essentially. We're having another little NPC interaction here. He's like, how did you do it? Like, the gods are looking at you, stuff's going on. He's a bit concerned. They're finally coming. So yeah, so the bosses, the transcendent bosses have come, and that's going to unlock the end of the game. So we're going to go and fight them now. That's the plan. The plan is to go and fight them. So there's 3 of them in total. The first one is in the red area, which we don't have access to from the hub, so we have to go through the blue area to get to it. It's just basically pretty much a straight run. I'm just going to run straight through that. We're going to pick up our final timepiece for our upgrade. And when we get into the red area, we're going to pick up a secondary weapon for Edda, which is really, really useful. Nay, pretty much required, in all honesty. So Avon has his whip ability, or his whip weapon. Edda's gets a bow, which is what we're going to pick up now. And the whip and the bow are not physical damage as such. Well, they do a little bit of physical damage, but the primary focus is absorption damage, which is obviously what we want to get rid of the enemies. So this is literally a route that got devised this week. It is a new route. And get so there's a couple of different categories in this game. Obviously, there's any percent, there's 100%, and there's all orbs, which is you don't get all the upgrades because there's a lot of timepieces in this game, and it's I find it a bit tedious personally. That's why I created all orbs, because I'm apparently a little bit crazy. But yeah. But while we were sort of routing all orbs, we sort of discovered this route was a lot faster to get to the final sort of movement ability. But there is a caveat to that. So while it's quicker, it does miss out a number of fights, which gives us the upgrade orbs we need for the first transcended boss, which means that the first transcendent boss is now a lot more dicey. So yeah, it's very, very scary, to be fair. Because if you mess it up, it is a huge time loss. Like, really huge time loss. But I'll explain that when we get to him. So we're getting our last movement ability, which is, or as I call it, the Eagle Shot. So I call it the Eagle Shot because I am a big fan of the Guacamelee games. And in Guacamelee 2, there is basically an ability that is the exact same, and it's called Eagle Shot. So it's my little homage to those games. Also with Avon, you see that I'm using his double jump, whereas with Edda, I did not use jump at all. Avon's double jump is faster than his walking speed, so obviously that's the most optimal form of movement underwater, and when you have to use Avon as movement. So we're just going to keep going to the right here. And then we're just going to run across. Now it wants you to do some platforming here, but yeah, you can just run across it there, just way quicker, and just double jump up into this final thing. I'm just going to do a little bit more shopping. I'm going to upgrade some of Edda's abilities. So I'm going to get her bow technique, which does massive absorption damage. So we need that for this boss. I'm going to get her to early technique, I believe. And I need 2 techniques for Avon. I'll get these now, because they're done. Okay, so I'm about as equipped as I can be. So this is the boss where ice is detrimental. Dang it! So you have to break those blocks on this boss, and he's being mean. Oh, he's being mean. You have to break those blocks to get to the point where you can absorb him. So there we go. There we go. I'm just gonna... So if ice is there, you have to reset the fight. You just cannot do it. So I want, by time all the blocks are broken, I need everybody to have at least 1 technique. Edda has her technique, lovely. Okay. I'm just going to block with Avon here because it's quicker. So beautiful. Okay, should be good. No, we're fine. Okay. Cool. So that boss is an absolute nightmare, not only because of the blocks, but if I didn't absorb him then, he goes back into the first phase, and you have to do the entire phase again to get him back to that green bit. And it is an absolute... I've just restarted it. It should work now.
Yeah, it's working again.
Is it? I heard the sound this time. I was like, please don't tell me it stopped again.
Yeah,
So I was just like,
don't worry.
it's fine. Cool. I just thought I'd quick get it sorted because I figured it was the same thing. Right. Okay. So we're just gonna head out of the red area. Sorry about that, guys. My computer is apparently not playing ball today. My OBS is just being very, 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 very rude. So we're going back to the green area. So this is where the next boss is. The boss we just beat was called Adaptation. The boss we're going to beat now is called Bipolar. They've all got like sort of dual personality kind of things, obviously to mimic the sort of aspects of the fact that Ava and Edda have become like entwined, shall we say. So the bosses sort of represent that. We're just gonna run along here, activate some more key zones, do a couple more fights. So you might see that I use magic on that guy then, even though he's got a physical block. So he has a barrier, like Edda's shields, and if you use the opposing sort of thing, it'll automatically break it. And we'll go with that. That's good. Okay. So you're just being aware of which enemies have those sort of barriers. Okay. So another little skiff that we found. So I've got to obviously put a caveat here. We're using one of the earlier versions of the game. CodeSync very kindly put like a beta version on Steam for speedrunners use, which has got a couple of the glitches and a couple of the sort of exploits. So in the more recent game, you can't do this backdoor into the boss. It's just they've taken it out. They've made it impossible to do, which is a little bit sad. Actually, I don't need that. We're good. Just needed the green. Okay, we're fine. So this is Bipolar. So in this fight, you're going to see Avon probably get a little blue dot up against his hand. So that's, both characters have a counter ability. Avon's is charged via magic. Well, they're not charged via magic, they're charged by just defending in general. Right, I want you to do spells here. I want you to do spells. No, why would you do spells when I want you to do it? So I was hoping to show off the... Oh, that's perfect. And that's about as good as a bipolar fight you can get. That was a really good fight. So we're just going to run away. Obviously, you can see in the background that the sky is kind of breaking, which, yeah, it doesn't look great. Not gonna lie. We're just gonna obviously just run straight out of here. And we're gonna head into our final area with a boss, which is the grey area, which is all the way to the left. So the stickmen are obviously still around, and you can encounter them at different points. They are dotted in like the void between the areas. So this is the grey area, and it is one of the more tricky areas, to be fair. At least fights-wise, there's some quite complicated fights here. Not just, like, down to the boss. Even though the boss is quite complicated. Okay, I'm just going to quickly... Sorry, I thought I heard the sound again. Quickly go back. Oh, what are you doing? Sorry. I'm exceptionally paranoid now that my computer's just not playing ball, so... I'm gonna beat this enemy. That's a nice start. So you can sort of, like with the blocks, if it's something that it's like your opposite's got like an right, speak English, that helps. So the assist ability is really, really useful. Like super useful. It just lets you do a bunch of damage on your opponent's turn and can help you just quickly rip through shields. Alright, we're gonna be bold. So this fight catches a lot of people out, let's just put it like that. Because it's not an easy fight. It is, however, my most favourite fight in the game. I love this fight. This is Halo. And I feel it's a little unfair to call him a sub-boss, but he's kind of like a sub-boss. Okay, it's fine. Lovely. So we've got phase 2. So Halo's good gimmick is that he... There we go. I finally got to show off Avon's counter-attack. I'm going to take it a little safer now. Dang it, I pushed the wrong button. So that can happen. He's, like I said, he's a tough customer. And unfortunately, I pushed the wrong counter button there by complete mistake. But that was on me, not the game. Okay, hopefully. Okay, cool, got that. That's nice. Yeah, just because it's my favourite fight does not mean it's not difficult. Should be good though. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, let's Halo down. So, yeah, there's a... So yeah, I'd say he's a sub... I feel like sub-boss doesn't feel right. He's a proper boss. He's just sort of not like one of the transcended bosses. He does have a counterpart called Demon. Okay, so this game does not have many glitches, and I've just pulled one off. So this area is meant to be in complete darkness, and you are meant to activate those little round light things. So by using a water death glitch exploit, you sort of skip the trigger, and it just means the whole area is in light, which is lovely. So this is my most loathed enemy in the entire game. He's just obnoxious beyond belief. Yeah, he is my most loathed enemy. I do not like this enemy. I really, really dislike him. And he's being mean today. Damn, dude. Just use the counter attack. Right, let's try again. There we go. Yeah, he has a very high absorption threshold, so even if his bar's really high up, it doesn't give you much in the way of the button prompts. And as stated, wind enemies are just the worst in this game, to be fair. Oh, there's that one. So we're going up now to meet the final transcended boss, who can be a bit troublesome if he chooses to be, in all honesty. As stated previously, wind. Nice, got that. The game wants you to jump to the left and then just use everybody to get across. So, I need you. I need you. Yeah, the break bonus. Okay. Just give me that little bit extra time. So this is Yin Yang. And yeah, he can be a bit obnoxious, not gonna lie. But he has command over all of the elements in the game. And he has 2 phases like Halo. Right, so now we want... Perfect. So I want to try and do some absorption damage in this phase. He's playing nice now. I don't want to see wind. Wind is not what I want to see. I need to make sure Avon has at least one technique going into phase 2. He's played really nice. This is like superb RNG. And we've got our one technique, so we're good. We just need to get through. Yeah, this has been like lovely. That was about as perfect as that first phase can go. So we don't get the sprint in here for some reason. I don't know why. Don't know why it's programmed like that. I'm guessing the developers want you to just enjoy this beautiful area because it is quite lovely to look at. But that is a lot of spears. Slightly ominous amount of spears, in all honesty. The field of spears.
The audio issue was on our end.
So do I have a...
It's been fixed now.
Yeah. Just so I need to know who won the poll. If there is a decision.
Donated to that poll, so it's just 0-0. So whatever you
That's fine. I will just go with. So I usually go for shiny Avon personally.
Hang on, my website's
That's fine.
Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lovely, no problem. So this is the creator. This is Luca. And it is a cutscene boss. You can do no damage to him. None of your attacks work. None of your joint attacks work. Nothing works. So he's basically saying, like, you've tainted the universe. We need to. You're an anomaly, although you're unique, and he's gonna basically wipe the floor with us because he's like, yeah, you need to be destroyed. And then obviously, here comes our spear. So whoever the shiny character is the one who does not take the spear right now. Because our counterparts will be very brave and step in to take the hit for us. So, obviously, Edda and Ave, you don't have to use the resonate. I just like to do it during this fight because it makes it look like they're like trying to reason with Luca. And obviously, as each turn goes past, Edda's light starts to fade, which is quite sad. So here, basically, Luca's destroying the universe we've created through our transcendence. And at the end, he sort of reasons through the whole thing, and there's obviously our lights are fading. He's kicking our backsides officially, and at the end, he's reasoned that he can't create the universe because of what he's previously created is just this big fight, and now he's telling Avon to create a new universe. So we have shiny Avon, who's gained the powers of godhood or creation to do with as he will. So this is about 20 seconds. It's going to be time. So when Avon punches the ground, that's time. It'll punch the ground, the screen will go to white. So the reason we have to end the run here is that you have to physically do the last input to do the ground punch. So that's why the game ends here and not at Yin Yang. And there we go. And that was Worldless.
Well done. Thank you.
Sorry for all the tech issues.
All the tech issues aside, that's pretty much very good. Thank you very much. I just turn the
No worries.
TV in this room down, otherwise you will hear an echo on the stream. Right, final time for you was 52 minutes and 46 seconds.
Considering that's not a bad. That's sort of where I was expecting to be if things went a bit awry with some of the fights, which they did. So that's
right,
pretty solid. Still about 4 minutes off my PB, but that's pretty good. So we kept it within the realm. Oh, I hope there's no more tech issues now.
We are going to go over to our next run now, which is going to be the absolute meme run of Hello Kitty Cruise's Adventure. So,
oh, that's going to be glorious.
Anybody who's in the chat, be sure to stick around for that because it's an absolutely incredible run. It's a incredibly fun game to watch. Honestly, it's incredible. But anyway, we're going to go over to that in just a moment. But don't forget, we're obviously doing this as a charity event for everyone can. If you'd like to donate, go to inspeedathon.instim.wales/donate. The link does appear on the stream every now and again. I will post it in the chat in a minute as well. But keep those donations coming in, everyone. There's one poll left for a run that's happening later on, and that is the Zero Ranger True Ending by Bunny's Bunrina. That's the choose game colours. If you'd like to donate to that poll, then please do so. Proceeds go to everyone can, subject to terms and conditions on the page. But the total you see on the stream is the eventual total to be donated to everyone can. So thank you, Lady Smile. Am I saying your name right? Lady Smile or Smale or Smile?
Smale. Like snail with an M.
Snail with an M. Smale. Okay, Lady Smile.
Yeah.
Have you got any final things you'd like to say before we finish off with your run and go on to the next one?
Just that this is a really good little game and it's not super expensive. I think it's actually on sale on Steam right now and there's a free demo, so please go and play it. It's a really good game and deserves more love.
Well, thank you very much for taking about. I will see you again soon, hopefully.